Bloopers,
One
put a
job,
blooper
Luke.
reel in.
Take
There
two.
will be a
Action.
blooper reel. There will
My
be a
name,
blooper reel, I
my
swear
name,
to
oh
fuck.
shit.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Welcome to
CryptTeaze Family Fun Night. Hello, everybody. My name is Lucas Liner.
I'm Chase Will.
I'm Monty Adams.
I'm Penny Rae Hawkins.
And welcome to CryptTeaze Family Fun Night, the film discussion roundtable where we bullshit about movies and all that kind of thing. Buzz.
Do we have a special guest arriving already?
That's saying it. I don't give a fuck. God damn it, Monty.
It's supposed to be silent but deadly, not loud and obnoxious.
I didn't feel your vibration in my fucking ear.
This episode is going great already.
Yeah,
Right.
we're off to a start. Oh, shit. We are joined this evening, or whenever you're watching it, by Penny Rae Hawkins. They are a dear friend of mine of several years. They are the host of Making Waves with Penny Rae Hawkins, which you can find on WBGU-FM, which you can find on TuneIn Radio if you have the app. But of course, the university radio station is shut down thanks to the Backstreet Boys reunion tour. Ooh.
Literally the biggest bummer. Aside from Riot Fest being moved.
Just sidebar here for a brief second. I was actually shadowing at WBGU because my plan was to have a show on the university radio station near us, and like a couple days before shit shut down, I was shadowing Penny on their show. And
you were.
Yeah, that was like one of the last things of my pre-COVID existence.
Oh.
Wait, can you say that word on here?
Oh shit!
You mean pre-Backstreet Boys?
That was one of my last things before the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
Well, at least we know.
But I have not gotten tickets for it yet, so you know what? We're on to something there.
Really though. Oh
I just
God.
had tickets yesterday. I had to get tested for tickets.
Oh, fun. You didn't have any.
Fortunately, it was just Limp Bizkit.
It was just Limp Bizkit.
So you kept it on rolling.
That means.
Oh God.
Keep rolling. We're off to a hot start here tonight.
Really though.
Just remember that Limp Bizkit was inclusive of all genders before it was cool. Because remember in that song, all the ladies, all the fellas, and all the people that don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
They were very far ahead of their times. We just didn't appreciate that.
Way ahead of their time in the year of our Lord 2000. Awesome. All right. Today we are talking about Jennifer's Body, a 2000 horror comedy directed by Karen Kusama, who would later do The Invitation. Was written by Diablo Cody, best known for her work on Juno, which of course starred Elliot Page, Michael Cera, one of the best teen coming-of-age comedies of our time. Today I'm talking about Jennifer's Body, a 2009 horror comedy directed by Karen Kusama, who of course would later go on to do The Invitation. Great slow burn horror there. And it was written by Diablo Cody, who of course wrote Juno, one of the best teen coming-of-age stories of our time. And this one, just get into it. Opening thoughts. Anyone have anything to say about it? Chase, what do you think?
I think that the trailers from the movie kind of shortchanged it because it made it seem like it really was just about this girl's body and how hot she was, but it was actually way more of a not really thought-provoking, I would say, but more intellectual below the surface. It wasn't like a straight slasher, monster, gory, sex sells kind of horror movie. Like there's more thought put into it. I think Diablo Cody is something a lot of people kind of shortchange her on.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And whenever I was watching the movie, one of the other movies that kept coming to mind as I was watching it was Species. So out of interest, I looked up some of the facts for Species because it was a kind of a similar movie, and it actually brought in 3 times as much as what Jennifer's Body did during its box office debut. Even Species 2 brought in just as much, if not more, than Jennifer's Body from its box office time in the box office. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I think part of that is due to people's unnatural hatred for Megan Fox. Like right around that time, people just straight up hated her. Like anything she was a part of is trashed right away.
Because she was hot and in Transformers. That was pretty much people's like barrier of entry of why they hated Megan Fox. She was hot and she was in Transformers.
I literally had a friend. I literally had a friend in high school. If he ever watches this, I'm calling him out. Hated this movie because you did not see Megan Fox's boobs. There is no like outright nudity. It's implied, of course, but you do not see titty. He hated the movie, and I'm like, you are such a fucking clod. Like, stop.
It was like the introduction of incels.
Oh shit!
Like,
you went there.
People were just discovering they were incels when this movie was released. It's like, I can't have this hot girl, therefore the movie sucks.
Really, though. And I think what I find really interesting about when I watched the movie for the first time is that it really showed me how like great of an actress Megan Fox is when you give her an actual script to work with and a good director.
Yeah. And that dialogue isn't very easy dialogue either.
No, it's Diablo Cody.
Yeah, it's like all teen speak, and she does it really naturally. And people, I think, are kind of overlooking that. Like, they're thinking that's just how she talks. They assume she's dumb in real life. But it's her acting. Like, she's bringing that dialogue to life. She's being that character.
Absolutely. No, Megan Fox is great as Jennifer. Have Amanda Seyfried. I've heard two pronunciations. As Needy, who is just such a fun character. I enjoy her. And going back to the problem of the film, a lot of the problems come from it was marketed on, ooh, two girls. Are they friends? Are they more? And that was the big problem with it is the film was marketed to horny teenage boys.
Don't give me and
it was a little higher than that, just a little higher than that.
I know. So, I remember this coming out back when I was in high school, and like it was a joke. Like people would mention it and bring it up, but it was always as a joke.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was not well received.
I think also if the digital effects had been a little bit better in some scenes in the commercial, people would have taken it more seriously. Because the commercial, the part where she transforms, where she's about to bite somebody, I remember those digital effects weren't very impressive. And it kind of made me not take the movie seriously until I saw it.
Well, I was seeing, like, I watched, after I watched the movie, I rewatched the kill count, shout out to James A. Janice, and I was seeing how they did the effects for the jaw, and how they had, like, a stand-in, and they had a green screen in her mouth, and it was, like, it felt more complicated than it needed to be. Like, I don't think it was objectively a bad effect, but I think it reminded me of an expression my old calculus teacher used. There's something to be said about trying to kill a fly with a submachine gun, and that's definitely how that effect felt to me. Anyway.
Side story: I've tried that; it doesn't work very well.
Have you really?
You guys have only seen the nice half of my office. The other half is machine gun fire.
So part of the charm of the movie is that it is very much a product of its time. Of course, it was in 2009. Some of the verbiage used does not stick well, especially some of the R-word references. That was one where I had to be like, oh God, especially being a special education, or work in special education as a day job. So it was one of those like, oh boy, forgot about this. Another thing that really sticks out is the soundtrack. And I think, Penny, this is where you're going to come in handy for a lot of this. The soundtrack was released on Fueled by Ramen, which is known best for Paramore, Fall Out Boy, a whole bunch. So what do you have to say on the matter of like the music in the movie?
I definitely think the music was, well, for one thing, obviously, because one of my strengths and one of my genres that I'm most informed of and educated on is punk rock, pop punk music. And I especially think with the vibe that they were getting with the movie, not just being a horror movie, but it being like a high school, like late 2000s. There's like that Colin Gray is just like the emo kid that everyone had in school with them. And it just like really fit the vibe for it well. And then of course, because I'm biased and has Panic at the Disco and All Time Low on it, that shit slaps. So
that's a good song.
That's fair.
Too. What was that song about them at the time? Was it? It was just after Pretty Odd, wasn't it?
2009, yeah. That was the year that Pretty Odd came out, and it would have been another 2 years before they put out. What was it? Thank you. It was like right when Ryan Ross left.
Oh.
Rip.
So I remember that song was really good, and they still had the two main people in it.
Yeah, because at that point, it was just Spencer Smith and Brennan Urie because, the divorce. We all know. I don't need to relay that.
Divorce.
It was a divorce?
It was a divorce because, like, the band didn't break up. It just lost 2 members, and then those 2 members made a new band, which is actually really good. They're called the Young Danes. They only put out 1 album, tragically. But it's high-key better than anything Brennan's putting out by himself right now, so.
Yeah. I didn't like the last 3. Anyway.
Hot take.
But no, I think, like, absolutely, back to the movie and away from my Panic at the Disco love, but I think one of my favorite uses of music in the movie is when she's about to take that guy into the woods and eat him and do that effect that we were just talking about. And it was just like this epic zoom in and this just like this heavy metal, like screaming soundtrack. I'm like, why does this fit? Like it shouldn't, but it does.
That worked like too well. The band in the film Low Shoulder, who we know are kind of the kind of the catalyst of everything as far as Jennifer's story goes. They are Satanists and not the fun. Oh, Jesus Christ. Look, again, I forgot how I'm a sucker for pop punk, even as much of an industrial and metal person as I am. If you read any reviews, you'll understand. But like, that song by the time that they had it at the candlelight vigil and everybody's singing the song, I'm like, I was kind of over at that point.
I'm pretty sure that was intentional, though. I think they wanted you to.
Absolutely,
right.
I definitely agree, and the thing that always makes me laugh is that is the exact kind of like trite bullshit that I would have been into. Like if I had seen this movie when it came out, like I would have loved Low Shoulder.
Well, they're supposed to be like a stand-in for the Killers, weren't they?
I wouldn't be surprised. That definitely sounds right.
I could buy that. If that's, I don't know. I could see it.
Well, like, I kind of, what Penny brought that up is I remember in high school, like all the bands that came along around the same time with Fueled by Ramen, all the, I guess, emo, post-emo, right around that time, they were all pretty fucking similar, and less than half of them were really good. Like in hindsight, I wish I hadn't been their fan. I'm ashamed by how much I liked AFI in high school.
Oh, come on. AFI rules.
December Underground was awesome, but...
Oh, God. December Underground is one of the best. Old AFI is fucking great. New AFI, I'm not against it.
I was like,
y'all didn't like Beautiful Peas?
There was also Say Anything. That was a band I was a huge fan of in high school. And then looking back, I'm like, yeah, maybe one album was good. The rest, I kind of just liked the band. And that's how it was.
It's that kind of... Definitely that reminiscing on kind of sack.
Anyway, that's what I think they were standing in for, was like that entire time period of shit music. Well,
and they did look the part, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Like they had the pretty boy frontman, and I think, and what especially, probably what made me laugh the most in this movie was that they literally commented on that, like just how oversaturated the scene was at that point. And like they were literally like, "Hey man, like you either have to get on a soundtrack or play the Warped Tour to get famous. Otherwise, Satan is our only option." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're kind of right." I mean, even like
in that era,
yeah, really. Especially when you look at bands like, oh, what's the one I really wanted to like and I didn't? It was Cure Is What We Aim For. That was the band that I thought was going to be a lot better than it was because I really liked that one Curse of Courage song. And then I listened to the album that came off of and like a couple of their other songs, and most of it was not good. And It's like that. Well, yeah, because most of these bands only had one hit in them. Or like Sugar Cult was another one that I really wanted to like.
Oh God, I forgot about Sugar Cult. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Diet Good Charlotte. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah, if you couldn't get on Warped Tour or any of the Punk Goes Pop soundtracks or any of that, nah, get out.
You had one hit in you, and then go work at like Target or something, because you're not Brendan Urie and you're not Patrick Stump.
That's what happened to Alex Target then. Okay.
So that's a meme with a little dust
that
on
Alex from Target, that like meme of that like pretty boy that worked at Target and like blew up because of Ellen DeGeneres or something.
Yeah, because like his whole thing was that he was cute. What the hell? Like he's a cute boy working at Target.
That's actually how Target hires their employees.
Fuck are we gonna have next? Michael from Walmart?
Jake from State Farm.
I've seen, judging some of the workers at a local Target, I could buy that, but I'm gonna set that aside. But we're gonna have next fucking Michael from Walmart, fucking Toby from Kroger. Like, what are we doing? Speaking of, on that note, the town in the movie is called Devil's Kettle.
Oh yeah, Devil's Lake.
Yeah. Yes. But my question is, this is kind of the first game of the show. What other titles could we come up with for this podunk little town known as Devil's Kettle?
The Devil's Toilet. Look like a big old toilet bowl.
There is literally a road like a mile from my house where I'm staying right now, called Devil's Hole Road. And I've never heard the full story as to why it is called Devil's Hole Road. But that is a thing.
No. Nope.
Like Satan's Vortex. That should be a band name.
Why is it not?
I don't know.
Beelzebub's Washboard. I don't know. Chase, got one?
Devil's Bath Towel.
Bath towel.
I don't know. Devil's Outhouse.
Lucifer's Stockpot. Devil's Double Boiler. I don't know.
I feel like if word ever got out about how Low Shoulder got famous, they should call it Sacrificial Woods.
Woo!
It'll be like an inside joke only they would get.
Yes! Like, remember when we killed that chick in the woods? Good time.
Killed that chick in the woods? Oh, yeah, I remember. No, you fucking don't. Loser? No.
You weren't even there.
For anybody who hasn't seen the movie, run down what they were doing when they were like sacrificing her. Like, what was the process there?
Oh, jeez. The idea was that they were supposed to sacrifice a virgin, as every, satanic ritual calls for. But as Jennifer proudly describes, she's not even a backdoor virgin.
Thanks to Roman.
Yeah.
Who was played by Chris Pratt, by the way.
This is true.
Really?
Yeah, Chris Pratt.
The cop in the bar, or the dude in the police academy, that's Chris Pratt.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Baby Chris Pratt. That kills me, is how all of these like big Marvel stars, like Chris Pratt was in that, Chris Hemsworth was in Cabin in the Woods, which shot in 2009 and was shelved for a while, didn't come out for a couple years after.
Oh, did not know that.
How all of these like big Marvel stars had like meta horror movies as their like springboard. I'm here for it.
And Gal Gadot, whoever Wonder Woman was, is it Gal Gadot or Gadot? How do you say her last name?
I think it's Godot.
Yeah,
I've heard Gadot, yeah.
She was in Fast and Furious, which is arguably a horror movie. It's a body horror movie because listen, these guys should have all been dead like 20 times over. They're immortals who happen to race cars.
I believe it.
Like, remember that one part where they fall through like the streets, everything's breaking around them, they crash the cars into each other. And he's like, "You thought it was gonna be a gunfight?" Right now. So it's a horror movie. That counts.
I believe it.
All I'm seeing is Vin Diesel, like Tedbo the Iron Man, and I don't know why. I don't like where my brain's going with that.
I am Groot.
Speaking of like actors you like wouldn't expect in a movie like this, but I just loved was J.K. Simmons as the teacher.
I just love J.K. Simmons and everything he does.
Oh yeah.
You see,
I was gonna say,
See,
what
when
other
I
movies
was-
has he been in?
oh well, for one, he's in the Farmers Insurance commercials. He's like the guy from those. He's
He was
in
also
HBO's
Juno's dad. He was in
Yes!
Juno as Juno's dad. Fuck, what was that movie that won like 1,000,001 awards? Whiplash. Yes, thank you.
Whiplash. Fuck yeah. He was in Oz, which is an HBO series. Which if you have HBO, Max, go fucking watch Oz.
I've seen that.
That series is amazing. J.K. Simmons plays a skinhead in it, and it is fucking terrifying.
Is that the prison one?
Uh,
Yes,
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
it's a hard watch, but it's worth it.
Does it have dragons?
What the fuck do you think, Chase?
I don't know. Game of Thrones had dragons. I like
As I'm sitting here drinking my hot pink, because I had to get. I thought about getting wine for tonight, but it was like, I don't know about this. I had that in my fridge, so it worked out.
I think the main actor that really surprised me in this movie was actually Amanda Seyfried. Like I definitely saw her. She definitely played like Anita as when she was all meek and shy and stuff really well. But when she was like a psycho bitch in the psycho ward, I was like, damn, okay. She got some
My
range.
question with the psych ward bit is, how did Tetherball, when she like smacks it off the post and it just kind of bounces off, like how did that not get made into a meme? Or how did people not like go back and turn that into a fucking meme? Just
Honestly,
like, yeah, boom.
In all fairness, around 2009, we were just getting our meme game on.
Right.
Oh yeah.
We were still younglings.
I mean, people had to go back to make memes out of the guy from The Mummy. Like, I'm surprised that even became a thing.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Yes.
No,
Yeah, especially because I think the cultural attitude on Jennifer's body is only recently starting to shift. Because I
within
remember
the last couple years.
Oh yeah, because I remember when the movie came out, not because I saw it, but because I saw it like on sale in Walmart, and I was like, I was still pretty young back then, so I was like, not horror movies, not my thing. But then I started seeing more about it actually last year on like places like Tumblr and Twitter and stuff, calling it like this like underrated feminist masterpiece, and I was like, yeah, I've heard about that movie, and I love Megan Fox, so I'll check it out, and it's got a lot of depth, it's got a lot of layers, it's definitely having a moment right now.
Yeah.
I love like Monty was alluding to the box office performance. It came down to marketing. They sold it on Megan Fox is hot, and that's all you need to know. And like, really is. I am not downplaying the attractiveness of Megan Fox.
Mm-hmm.
Refuse to. You can't make me.
Well,
But
do you think that was kind of like a meta joke? Is people are going to go see this because she's hot, and that's kind of the joke of the movie?
Well, it didn't work.
I would like to believe that, but to me, it kind of reads more like we might as well not, or like let's not market this to teen girls because then it won't be taken seriously. Because think about, like, this was 2009. You know what movie either had just come out or was just about to come out? Twilight. And that, yeah, so that was like a huge cultural phenomenon, but everyone hated on it as intensely as they did because of who it was popular with.
Yeah.
So they said, okay, this is a horror movie. We want it to be taken seriously, so let's market it to young boys.
okay, pause.
Every
Because
episode
this
of Twilight.
Yes, every episode we fucking bring up Twilight. I just literally every episode we've recorded, we fucking bring up Twilight.
We're now
Like,
part
we
of
will have a compilation of it. We have to.
You know why we bring it up every video? Because the movie was really, really horrible.
And nobody hates it more than Robert Pattinson. No,
Nobody.
not one motherfucker on this earth
That guy
hates
is
it
my
more than
hero.
our Pats.
I just loved him that you called him Arpats because he has been quoted as saying he wants to break the hands and the mouth of whoever the hell came up with that nickname. I mean, dude, I would pay Robert Pattinson to break my hands. Do you understand?
John Oliver now. Wait, now you have to do the John Oliver thing. Like, twist my hands into knots, you broad-shouldered bitch.
And you know what? Robert Pattinson is a crazy enough motherfucker. He would. You know I'm right. I'd pay that bitch $50 to break my hands, and he'd be like, all right.
Okay.
That guy is insane. I love him.
He's gonna ruin those hands like he wants to ruin Batman.
I have no heart. I have no dog in this fight.
It could be the best Batman yet. It could be.
He could be. He could be.
It could.
People hated on Batfleck.
I think it's actually a prequel to Twilight because he turns into an actual bat at the end.
Ooh.
Stay with me here.
No, I won't stay with you. You do this every fucking episode, Chase.
Yeah, I do. Back to the movie.
Yes.
One funny feminist part, I guess, for going off that theme is when she was saying, I think men made up periods so we sound crazy.
Literally, well, PMS, yes. Not periods are unfortunately a very real thing, but
That's what
PMS, yeah, that was definitely the boy-run media, as Jennifer puts it.
Like how she also refers to every male in that movie as boy.
Yeah, really.
This is true.
I'll be right back. I think my Chinese food is here. I'll be right back.
That I originally put down Rick Springfield when it's Tommy Two-Tone, the 8675309 gag in The Ritual. So I'll tell on myself there.
That was Andrea.
Oh, okay.
And I'm 96, baby. So if you have to call me a fucking millennial in the chat, fucking do it. For the comments, just do it.
I'm sorry, what?
Whatever. I've heard it. It's fine. That was the one part that was like unnerving in a bad way. 'Cause I'm like, you are about to kill a girl, and all you could think of is to make a fucking 80s reference.
I loved that, honestly, because I think it really just, to me, it showed me just like how little empathy they actually have as humans.
Right.
They're like,
Maybe, but like,
That's how boy band
Was it lack of empathy or was it deflecting with humor?
I think it was lack of empathy. Like all they cared about was getting famous.
Well, I mean, the one guy definitely, but if you look at a couple of the other ones, they seem a little unsure.
Oh yeah, totally. I definitely think those guys.
I think it was the leader's attempt to kind of lighten the mood and keep things moving forward.
all I want to know is how did the library in a little town like Devil's Kettle have a fucking occult section?
Right?
Wait.
That'd be like my hometown having an occult section.
Does your town not have an occult section?
No.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say where I live.
Well, if you think about it, it's a little town called Devil's Kettle. They're going to have an occult section.
Yeah, that tracks. I could see that.
Just because of the name of the town.
Oh, especially because like there's all that mystery surrounding that waterfall.
Right.
I could totally see that.
It's not really the waterfall; it's the vortex that goes nowhere.
You should have called that the Devil's Flow.
The Devil's Flow.
Well, since the rumor was that they killed that girl, like they could use Devil's Flow anyway.
Really though.
Oh man.
Going back to Megan Fox's acting, her acting in that scene and like any scene where she's supposed to be like terrified, good shit.
Yeah, no, like I say, people, like okay, her work in Transformers was but that's also kind of sort of actually totally the fault of Michael Bay.
Oh, absolutely. He saw her as a piece of ass, so he wrote her character to be a piece of ass.
That was her entire role in both movies.
Then didn't bring her back in third one.
Was she in the third one?
Actually, no, she was not in the third one.
Bring her back.
Well, it's because didn't he like blame something on her and she made a comment about him and he fired her for it? Is that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I only know what's online. I don't know the whole story behind that. But it seems like that's literally what he hired her for, was just to be hot and not have dialogue and not be taken seriously at all. And I feel like that really backfired on the movie and her reputation in general. That was her starting point. Because I don't think anybody knew who she was before Transformers.
Which is wild to me because, I actually, not to be like flexing here or anything, but I actually knew Megan Fox before Transformers because she was Carla Santini in Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen.
Oh.
Now, she was a baby Megan Fox, like still beautiful, obviously, but baby Megan Fox. But I remember even being a kid watching Transformers, and there's actually a much better explanation on why she's actually a really good character and probably the best character in the first Transformers. Lindsay Ellis did a whole video on that. But I remember being a kid and watching Megan Fox in Transformers, and I didn't see her as like useless female here to be hot. I saw her and I was like, man, she's a cool girl who knows cars. I want to be a cool girl who knows cars. And then she did Jennifer's Body, and honestly, like, the thing that clinched it for me on how actually good of an actress she is was the first scene when she gets out of the woods after being sacrificed and goes to Needy's house. And she's like crying and also kind of laughing at the same time because she realizes how absurd the situation is, but also how abjectly terrifying it is. And that's like a combination of emotions that's not easy to pull off.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
I wonder if that was direction she was given or if that's something she came up with.
Either way.
I feel like it's a really good acting choice because it's not the common one. Like, it's the risky choice. That's what I appreciate about it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a risk that worked, even though that scene where she's covered in blood, like at Needy's refrigerator, probably launched a million fucking puberties right there.
Really, though, really.
Like, just a fucking bunch of teenage boys watching that fucking... I don't know if I picked up on the mic, but yeah.
Did you just get censored by yourself?
I think you
Maybe?
did.
I probably should be, but yeah.
It's uncensored. New show.
Really
Unnecessary censorship. CryptTeaze Family Fun Edition.
You like the CryptTeaze Mark Maron.
I don't know what title I want to have, Chase. Anyway. One of the funniest things, going back to like the goth kid, the emo kid, however you want to look at him, at his funeral, I did not realize how much I love the moms, like, just clap back, like, my son is not flying through the ether, like, she just lets those kids fucking have it, and I'm like, yeah! Just lost my mind at that. Like, I was like...
No, absolutely.
On one hand, they're grieving in their own way. On the other, go Karen. I don't know what her fucking name was, but go Karen. Just
really though.
Giving it to him.
Hello, Betty. Okay, you have been given attention.
So, I noticed a lot of, again, going back to this, it was a product of its time. What are some things that you guys heard or saw in the movie that placed this firmly in late 2000s? Like references, little things that you're like, holy shit, those were the days.
I think for me, the first thing that comes to mind is just the Colin character himself, because my best friend in the world growing up, shout out to Eden Tyson, was that kid basically. Like the black hair, like the scene kid fashion, the piercings, everything. That was him. And
the kind
I think
of look that... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you go ahead.
The kind of look that walked so e-boys could run.
Exactly. Exactly. And then I think just the other thing is when she's like, oh, no, the main thing that for me, I was going to say the Sebring, just because I drove a Sebring before I totaled it a couple of years ago. Oops. Yeah. Oh, that's a story for another time. But
yeah.
For me, it was the 9/11 memorial shooters.
Oh God! Oh, that hurt. That bit hurt.
And then she like comes back with these two little like shot glasses, and she's like, "Oh, Tower 1 isn't full enough."
I
was like, "Oh man."
The sad part is it's 2021, so it'll be the 20th anniversary. So I could totally see some podunk bar doing some shit like that.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like 2009 was when like people were, I don't want to say people were starting to like get over that, but definitely I think trying to actually like process it. You know what I mean?
Trying to like put it in the rearview mirror and work through it and that kind of thing.
Well,
exactly.
Our emotions from that, we took those emotions and put them on Megan Fox instead. That's what happened.
Are you
Really, though?
saying that Megan Fox is... No, I'm not going there. No. I'm
Don't do
gonna,
it, bitch.
I'm gonna sip my beer and I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Just kidding, I'm just gonna sip my beer. No, one of the lines that dated this movie for me was one of the very first lines of the film. That was, I've get more letters than Santa Claus, Zac Efron, and Dr. Phil combined. I'm like, Jesus wept. Like, that just firmly placed this movie in like late 2000s because Zac Efron was like right in the heat of his High School Musical days. Nobody would have ever thought to cast him as Ted Bundy. Oh God, just
really though.
That and when Chip is talking to his mom and saying that I've been doing the Bowflex, and I'm like, who gives a damn thing about Bowflex in 2020?
Really though.
Monty, did you have anything that dated this film for you, or?
I was still like, because I have older parents, I was living in the 80s and the 90s and the 90s and the 2000s and whatnot. So I can't really, I'm behind on pop culture in that regards.
What decade are you in right now?
I don't know.
Is Donald Trump a TV star or a president right now, Monty?
Wait, he was a TV star?
God damn it. Whoo, boy.
That's
what about you, Chase?
Political now, yeah.
I try not to. I try not to get political.
I thought he was just the guy that helped Kevin do the lobby.
What kind of sociopath helps somebody find their room who doesn't work there? It's not your job. Hello.
I mean,
yeah, that's weird. Helping young boys is not usually something he was known for in that time.
In that time.
But now he helps
anyway.
Jared Kushner all the time.
What's that?
I said, but now he helps Jared Kushner all the time.
That was good.
I don't know if we can keep that in, but I don't give a fuck.
The more political we get, the more views we get. I mean, let's get this going.
Let's get it.
No, we just got flagged by the government, guys. We're gonna get drone strikes here soon. Thanks, Lucas.
Shit.
My body is ready.
List, here we come.
We're sent to Azkaban or whatever.
Okay, raise your hand if you're not already on a watch list, though. Like, let's be real.
I mean, I did get. I was detained at an airport internationally, so I might be.
I mean, I'm a writer, so Lord knows what I've had to Google for reference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My Google history, I'd probably be on a list somewhere. It's like I swear to God, it's a project.
Really though, it's like, especially when I'm like looking up like baby name like websites and whatever, because I'm trying to figure out what to name my characters, and then for like 6 months, like my search history thinks I'm pregnant, and I'm like, no. I just need to know what this name means.
Chase, is there anything in this movie that really dated it for you, or?
Some of the language, like you said, definitely was early 2000s. Like, I think watching it now, you'd either cringe or be like, yeah, I miss those days.
I mean, on one hand, it is kind of a sign of the times, because, I mean, I was in middle school in that time. Like, I went into high school in 2010. And bang, it's fine. But, here, people talk like that, threw around the F slur, the R slur, all those words. And it's not something to look fondly back on. I don't know if I could say no.
I'm kidding. That was just a
but yeah, that was something.
That's another thing that you actually, thank you for mentioning that, because that actually does remind me of another word that like immediately dates this 2009 for me. Guyliner.
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck.
The word guyliner.
See, I still hear that.
Not as often as you did then.
Like how that was like the whole, like basically the tagline when Adam Lambert and Chris Allen were the final two on American Idol. It was the guy next door versus the guyliner, and in retrospect, it's like, but why though?
But why?
Oh, I was just gonna say that like nowadays I feel like it's gaining more mainstream acceptance that guys do in fact wear eyeliner, and it's the same eyeliner that girls wear because it's 2021 and gender is meaningless. Nothing means
However,
anything. Wear what you want.
part of me feels like marketing makeup for guys would be the funniest thing for masculinity motherfuckers.
Oh, it would be hilarious.
Sephora's already come out with some products for guys.
Oh shit! No, you're right.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know that.
How do you know this of all people, Monty?
Because I don't get cheap makeup. I go to Sephora for all my shit.
That's valid. That's valid.
We love that.
That tracks.
Oh man! So one thing that kind of had me torn was the end of the movie, specifically the end credits, in where, Needy breaks out of the asylum and says that tonight's going to be Low Shoulder's last show. And in stills in the credits, we see that she caught up to the band and killed them all in her hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
I missed that part.
Really?
You probably turned it off too soon.
Oh shit.
It's not even like a mid credits thing where it's like the first half of the credits.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
They launch into that
It's
all-time
like-
low song, and we just rock out.
And I guess the choice to do it that way still irks me.
Why?
I don't know. If you consider Jennifer at the end to be like the A-tier, the A-line villain, like the top villain, like the big bad, Low Shoulder are like the B-line villain.
Right.
As a whole, specifically the lead singer, he's a twat, whatever. So to see the A-line get with like big, huge fight scene break out and then catch up later, and the B-line guys that are arguably worse just get killed in like
The credits.
it's almost worse than a stinger kill. To me.
I feel like
What do you think about it?
The movie wasn't really about them though. It was about the relationship between Jennifer and Needy and like them growing apart. It was more of like, if you're gonna go after the theme of the movie, it was about their friendship moving apart and them going different directions. It was similar in some ways, I think, to Ginger Snaps with that same central theme. So I think it makes sense that they wouldn't be central, them getting killed at the end. Like it wouldn't matter so much to the story. It's kind of cathartic to watch them die, but it's not necessary for the story.
But you don't even watch them die. You see like crime scene photos essentially.
Yeah.
And I think that I agree with the thought of it's a catharsis. It is that fuck yeah, she got him. You go, girl. I'm all for that. But I think it's kneecapped because it's done like crime scene photos.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Like, I definitely don't have any personal issues with that scene. But now that you bring that up, I do understand where you're coming from, and I'm wondering if maybe that would have been better handled in like a sequel.
Right. That's what. If I was going to have any complaint about this movie, it was that it felt a little bit rushed at times. And honestly, I think I would enjoy the sequel better than the original, which that doesn't happen too often in movies. I wasn't a real big fan of the way the dynamic was portrayed between Jennifer and Needy and whatnot. Like I said, I'm very much a creature feature type enthusiast versus your typical horror show. So I don't need as much of the drama between the two. I want to see the creature doing its hunting, its killing, and whatnot. And that's what would have ended up being if Needy had gone out and like hunted these guys down. So
let me pose this question then. Would it have been better? Let's do it this way. Since I compared it to like a stinger kill, like the end of the movie, or a mid-credit scene kind of thing, which is very common in horror, as we know. Would it have been better as it was? Or I could see maybe a bit where she catches up to them, knocks on the hotel room door, they open the door, she's there, and it's like, oh shit. And then cut to credits. And let that be kind of in the viewer's imagination.
That would have been cool, but how much time did they spend going into the credits, showing the crime scene photos? In that amount of time, you could have had this bloody, this gory, like horrible, like just shredding them scene in like 1 minute. Just 1 minute at the very end of the movie. Just she knocks on the door. The guy doesn't even get a chance to open the door. The door just comes flying off its hinges, and she just rushes in. Heads are flying, limbs are flying, all that deal, and then cut to the credits.
I think the only thing where I couldn't see that happening, and this is not from a technical point of view, I agree with that, Monty, I do. But what I think it wouldn't have happened is just based on when this came out. This is before mid-credit scenes and post-credit scenes got super popular and done death.
True, true.
Because the first couple Marvel movies, they had post credits but not mid credits, and that's what every movie from that point on was trying to have something at the very end after the credits. It was like every movie you went to see had some final image after the credits.
So yeah, I guess that's where I see. Like, I don't know that would have happened, and that's purely where the film industry was at that time.
True, true.
I don't think is why it would have happened. Had this movie come out 5 years later, yeah, it definitely could have and maybe should have been that way. I don't know.
If nothing else, I do think that. I was just going to say that if nothing else, I definitely like the way it did wrap everything up like quite nicely, because I feel like if they hadn't had that scene, they almost would have needed a sequel. You know what I mean? Because like if they ended the movie, for example, like right after she like breaks out of the asylum, then and like started the credits there, which I think would have would have been like a really good like cliffhanger type thing for a sequel. However, because of how poorly the movie did at the box office, that sequel wasn't going to happen. And then with it being a standalone movie, it's like, okay, well, what about the band? What happened to the band?
Right.
You know, are they still out there? Are they still sacrificing not virgins? Make it more spectacular.
Yeah, but I don't know. I thought this is worth just what Chase said earlier, that the B-line was about, Needy and Jennifer's friendship. I would argue that's the A-line because, again, Jennifer ends up as A-line villain. What I think the B-line is the commentary on how, think of how this movie flips the whole idea of objectification and, owning one's bodily autonomy, sexuality, and all that. Right from the beginning where Jennifer talks about playing Hello Kitty with the bartender and all that. Yeah. How there's that underline of Jennifer, I almost said Megan, Jesus, of Jennifer using her sexuality for her own advantage to, get in with the band, to seduce and then kill Jonas, the jock, in the woods. But there's still this undercurrent of she was violated, not in a sexual manner that we can see in the film, but she was violated. And I think it's unique the way they ended the film with the stills of the crime scene, but I think it kneecapped the overall effect of that catharsis. I don't know that it came through quite as strongly as maybe it could have or should have.
True.
And I can definitely see where you're coming from with that, but I think for me, when you said that like Jennifer became the A-line villain, I think I would argue that she was always the A-line villain, even from the beginning before they even went to the bar. But it's a lot more subtle than her being this outright monster, especially coming from someone who was like raised a girl and had a lot of like toxic female friendships. That was really what they had from the beginning. Just when she said, hey, I want to hang out with Chip. Maybe I don't want to go to the bar tonight. And then Jennifer kind of glares at her until she says, okay, fine. What time are we going? And even when she's getting ready, she's like policing her outfit because she's like, okay, I can show my stomach, but I can't show my tits because tits are her trademark. And it's just like little subtle things like all through that are just amplified when she becomes a succubus.
Right, and it's something I recall back, and I've seen time and time again, is I've seen where in some instances where an individual will be friends with someone just to keep them in check, to keep them underneath them on the totem pole.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that if I'm kind of curious, if Needy and Jennifer had never become friends, what would Needy have become? Would her potential not have been suppressed from such an early age up onto, her teen years?
And I think that question is pretty well answered in the end of the movie when she loses her damn mind, because she's literally telling everyone, like, pretty much from the get, there's something legitimately evil going on with Jennifer. She's not just high school evil, she's like actually killing boys. And
Which
then she like
the best line of the film, that not high school evil, she's evil. I love that.
I don't know, for me, I think my favorite line in the film was, wait, I thought you only killed boys. I go both ways.
See, that was one of the trailers, and as soon as I saw that trailer, that just kind of like made me like, it was so corny, like it made me not want to watch a movie. That was one of the missed marketing things, I'd say.
Oh man, I love cheesy, corny lines like that.
Like sometimes, yes, but like I don't know, that one just didn't hit right for me.
And I can totally see that. But hell, even that whole like toxic dynamic, even pre-possession,
right,
I think was addressed in that final showdown before she's stabbed through the stomach.
Now,
well, I guess the pre-final showdown, I guess, because she's not killed until her bedroom. But
Now, as far as like possible or potential alternate endings and whatnot not go, I'm kind of curious what would happen if, like, let's say Jennifer would have killed Needy in that final fight. How would things have gone? How do you guys think things would have gone after that? Like if it played out?
I feel like she just would have gone on as normal, strut around, be hot, kill boys. Although I couldn't. Wow, imagine Jennifer going to college.
There's your sequel. There's your fucking sequel.
Jennifer goes to college.
Body Part 2, the body count. I want to say
the unrated cut could be the co-ed edition.
Or Jennifer's Bodies.
Jennifer's Bodies. Ooh, I like that. Get some like college girl who wants to experiment, and she's like, I'm hungry. Come here.
Yeah, I would totally.
And it's like, oh my god, sorry, I just had like the worst thought, and I need to share it with all of you. It's like, a girl goes to Jennifer's room to get her pussy eaten, right? But then she gets her pussy eaten.
Oh god. What would this movie be rated?
That would be a hard R, friend, and I would need it to be.
I think that would be like, if Blumhouse were to make that movie, that scene would be in there, I bet.
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure if they did make that movie, it'd be like the lesbians' version of like the guy's version of Teeth.
Yeah.
Every lesbian in the room would just go cringe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I hate it so much.
I love it.
All right.
I paid big bucks to have that movie made. If I had to just take all of my money, I need this movie in my life.
Shut up and take Penny's money.
Everybody, let's get a pitch together. We're taking this to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Party. Let's do it.
Presents Jennifer's Bodies.
And Megan Fox can play new Jennifer's mom.
Oh yeah. That's the way to do sequels. They bring back the old character.
All right.
Yeah, she could be like a Laurie Strode character, like years later. Like,
yeah.
I remember the demon possessed me.
And Needy could totally pull off like the college principal or something like that,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then have the whole thing be like a sorority or something, That
yes.
Of course, it just makes sense.
Needy keeps like a shotgun in her office. Not this bullshit again.
So on the topic of who you would cast, if you had to recast any role in this film, and I feel that's a hard question to do, who would you recast and why?
Emma Roberts as Jennifer.
Ooh.
Why? Interesting.
Because I think she can play that role with the exact same thoroughness, but like in today's age, where they add more layers to it, be more self-aware, I guess. Like, because she does it in American Horror Story every season. Like, she plays a very similar character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think she'd be a really good replacement if they were to remake it.
If I were to recast any, I know, Monty, you go next. I got to think about this.
I would say.
I'm
Monty,
thinking too.
you have to. Oh shit! So then I have to think. I don't know why, but I want somebody else playing. I get the girl name, but the one that's, I found it on the Wikipedia. That
I
girl.
love her.
Like, I don't know why, but I want somebody else for that role, but I can't think of who, especially in that time period.
Mm-hmm. I guess the main thing that's coming to my mind, and honestly, I think this is almost entirely contingent on the fact that J.K. Simmons was also in Juno, is imagine Michael Cera in the role of Chip. Especially in a scene where like he and Nita are having sex and she's just like having a mental breakdown because he's having these visions and he thinks he's killing his first time having
he's
sex.
just going for it. Yeah.
He's like,
Okay.
Okay, but imagine Michael Cera delivering the line.
If we were to bring this movie forward in time and have the entire cast recast, I think they could almost do like a 2 or 3 episode deal, but have all the people from Letterkenny play it.
You always eat the whole body, Miss Katie's, and that's what I appreciate about you.
The deputy, the Chris Pratt character needs to be like the lead dude in Letterkenny.
Oh yeah. So your friend was eating some beef the other day.
I have never seen Letterkenny. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Me too.
Literally, this is all I've seen, and I feel like you'll just enjoy it. Just like literally just watch like the first like 10 minutes of the first episode. It's the funniest goddamn thing you'll ever see in your entire life.
It's rapid fire comedy, like wit, snap, snap, snap.
And you're gonna say the word allegedly a lot more in your vocabulary.
Allegedly.
Like anytime somebody says something, you're gonna start adding the word allegedly.
When Monty said that, all I could think of was Alien Piss story.
What is it?
Remember that?
What was it again?
I said all I could think of was the Alien Piss story from the iNation.
Oh yeah.
Alien Piss.
And was it Monster or Mountain Dew?
What happened?
We found out that it's either Monster or Mountain Dew.
I think it was Monster.
It glows. Yeah, it was Monster. It glows in under UV light. Like
no
this guy.
Shit.
Yeah, this guy brought a monster. This guy brought a monster into the club, right? And the bouncer's like, "Well, I don't mind if you drink that here, but you need to pour it into like a cup. You know, you can't have like the can in here for whatever reason."
Yeah, open container.
So this dude pours it into a cup, and it's like he's holding it in his hand. It's like glowing neon yellow. I'm like, dude, it looks like alien piss or something.
And
That's
that was
amazing.
the joke that we had back and forth forever was alien piss.
Fantastic.
I think
And it's basically what Monster tastes like too. So.
This be the next
What's that, Case?
The next Alien movie, instead of Prometheus 3 or whatever, just Alien Piss.
Okay.
Like the origin of Monster.
Acid piss instead of acid spit.
That's
like,
coming
what
up
the
with
about
movies
uric
like that in
acid?
Hollywood right now. Like Hollywood should
Like-
come to us, honestly. We're pitching
Really, though?
movies here.
Just like lift its leg like a dog at a fire hydrant.
Since apparently I'm getting paid by Blumhouse to write reviews and shit. Fucking listen, get Jason Blum get on this shit, okay? If you're listening.
Oh yeah, give us some of that Blumhouse money.
Really
Yeah.
though, I could use some of that.
Get me
Blumhouse
out of
money.
Northwest Ohio, motherfucker. Like,
It's like the Blumhouse stimulus.
there you go.
Literally,
Oh,
though.
Jesus. All right. Any closing thoughts we have on the film? Anything you want to get out?
Watch Jennifer's Body.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, fucking, you need to.
Come for
It's
the
pretty.
stay for the brains.
Oh yeah, it's like even
I was
though
gonna
like
say.
I was
tell you
gonna say
what,
that like
One of you
I'm
go.
I'm
God.
gonna stop talking. I'm good. You go first.
No, go.
Okay, I was just gonna say that, like Lucas said at the beginning, there are definitely some lines that do not hold up, especially in terms of political correctness. But overall, the film is way more brilliant than it looks on the surface, and that's all I
had
have
a
to say
thought.
about that.
I had
What
a
is your
thought.
thought?
You are a
Is
thought.
this film going to be for the 2000s what Heathers was for the 80s?
Oh, it better goddamn well be.
Probably. Let's see it.
Or like Jawbreaker.
Oh, I could love Breaker.
Isn't that the one that had Marilyn Manson in one scene?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I've seen that.
Yeah, I think he's having sex with the lead actress.
Yeah. That's right.
Sounds great for him.
Yep.
Check out our episode on We Are Chaos over on. Oh, it's not out yet. Shit. Never mind. Cut that. God
By the
damn
time
it.
this
All
one's
right.
out, it might be.
Maybe. All right. Chase, Monty, any final thoughts?
No, I think we're good.
Give us money.
Give us money.
Give us
All
money.
right.
We need a Jennifer's Body sequel.
Yeah,
We
fund the
do.
sequel.
Yes. We're gonna start a GoFundMe. We're gonna fucking make this happen.
Coming
Watch.
2025. Jennifer's Body.
We're gonna be in a pandemic for a fucking year at this rate, so we might as well like bide our time and use it wisely.
Really though.
Wait, I have a question. Since we're in 2021 now, and social distancing is still a thing, how would Jennifer get her victims while being socially distanced? How would that work?
I mean, she's Megan Fox.
But she had a healing factor.
Tinder, dude.
Oh, she
Tinder.
does. Tinder!
Oh,
For what?
get her on Tinder.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Jennifer would kill on Tinder. Literally.
Literally. Oh, god damn it.
Hey, no. She would just do like we all do. Uber Eats.
That would be her Tinder.
Pretty sure that was a scene in Vampires Suck.
Oh, I can see that scene working too. Like she orders like McDonald's from Uber Eats, and he brings her the bag. She throws the bag aside, eats the driver.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Do not put fucking Jennifer Check on McDonald's. That bitch is a Wendy's girl. Come on. Do not reduce Megan Fox to this level.
Let's settle. Let's meet in the middle. She's a Chipotle girl.
Chipotle.
She's gonna get Chipotle. That could be the line.
That'll be the
tagline.
No, that'll be like the big line. Like that'll be the she's about to get Chipotle'd is to Jennifer's Bodies as to no, she's like not high school evil, like real evil of the original movie.
You guys, why aren't we writing this movie right now?
All I can think of is she's going to Chipotle. She's getting extra meat, right?
Cut
A lot of
that
extra
note,
meat.
Extra meat, extra sauce.
This one's gone off the rails.
Never
Nothing
on
was
the
ever
rails,
fucking on them to be. I was gonna say nothing was ever fucking on them to begin with.
This train has been flying toward the ground.
It's just like the train of thought in Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
That is the most obscure reference.
That's
I've heard
going
all
back. That's going back. Holy shit.
Only I would
And
make a
that had
Shark
Taylor
Boy and
Lautner. And that had Taylor Lautner, who was in Twilight. It all comes back around. God damn it.
full circle.
Man, it's like 7 Ways to Kevin Bacon, except it's 7 Ways to Twilight.
Can we talk about how like only I would make a Shark Boy and Lava Girl reference on a horror podcast?
Yes. That is the most Penny thing. That's
Never
what we
again.
had. All right. Our guests today have been Penny Rae Hawkins. Penny, what do you have to plug or talk about or anything? This is your time for sticking it with us this far.
Oh gosh. I think really the only thing I have to plug so far are the most recent articles that I have up on Field Magazine's website. If you're not I don't know if your listeners are into K-pop at all, but I just put up a review of this debut boy group called Enhypen's first album. The reviews on there for that. And I also just reviewed the Dash and Lily series on Netflix. So if you want to check that out, you can go to sealedmag.com.
All right, awesome. For all of us here, for Chase Will, for Monty Adams, and our guest, Penny Rae Hawkins, I'm Lucas Liner, and this has been the CryptTeaze Family Fun Night. Watch more movies. Watch this one if you haven't. We'll see you next time. Bye.
500 coming next week.
Bye.